Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Tyranny. Last episode we tried to make our way to Lethian's Crossing, but we were stopped by members of the Bronze Brotherhood who don't want to let us through. They're not happy with us. We may end up needing to fight them, and I'm curious what would happen if we did fight them. But since we do have another direction at the moment, well, first, I want to go into the mountain spire and see if there's any sort of change to this place. Oh! You make out a few figures on the road well ahead of you. The glint of iron and bronze marks them as well-armed and armored. Two feature the broad shoulders of beastmen haulers and lead a heavily laden cart. As they near, you realize that the standard flown from their cart boasts the heraldry of Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. They hail you as you approach. You recognize the woman who leads the procession as a minor functionary in Tunon's service by the name of Alma. Her clothes bear the red, black, and gold of the court, and she keeps her light brown hair in a carefully braided bun atop her head. Speak with them. Fatebinder Jason Pendragon. She greets you with a bow. I travel in the Archon's service. The cart behind me is laden with supplies, all at a reasonable price. Is there anything I can provide you? We can shop. Let me show you what I have. Camping supplies, bronze ingot, healing potions. Zash's draught. That seems to be all you have. Anything I have desire to sell? Let's see. House seal. I wonder where I got that. Let's see here. I can sell a few things. I wish to sell the bronze guitar, the iron greatsword. Like I said, if it's named, I'm keeping it. Or if it's got a glow like that. For now, we have these, but we can't do any of these upgrades. Other. I don't think these have any... No, they don't. Sell these, we could use the extra rings. There we go. Trade, thank you for the extra rings. Now back to the spire to see if anything changed. I did try hiring someone to see if anything would happen. Doesn't appear to be anyone outside. Let's check inside. Oh, wrong thing. We can loot the... Oh yeah, camping supplies that we can't take. We hired someone, but I do not see them, is the thing. A random merchant, that is. Despite being in control of this place, it seems very barren. And is there anyone at the top? Please ignore that. That shouldn't have happened. Ah, he's at the top here. Ravos. Fatebinder, come take a look. The dirt-caked Apex local gestures to an old box at his feet. I've got a beastman cup in there. I doubt that very much. You step up to the huckster and peer down into the box. It's full of assorted junk, nothing more. Before you can comment, you notice him reaching for your ring belt out of the corner of your eye. Grab his hand. He makes a high-pitched squeal that echoes over the expanse of the valley. I didn't mean anything by it. I promise. I just wanted to see how many rings you had, so I could adjust my prices accordingly. Ravo's at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. Are these stolen? At first, he seems about ready to spout off a hasty answer, but he pauses and reconsiders. No. No in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes in the sense that I'm not entirely... He coughs into his fist. Licensed. But wait! Before you throw me into Tunon's dungeon or worse, consider this. He spreads his arms and turns in a circle. We aren't standing on Taratus. We're standing high above any citizen who is subject to the Overlord's law, and this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. He stamps his foot and points to the land below. Don't presume to understand Kyros's will. We'll need to consider the legalities. In the meantime, I'll take a look at your goods. Superior! Okay, these are fairly powerful things. Fatebinder of Tunon. And we have more of these, more sigils. I feel like we have some of them. All of these supplies as well, which I don't know what are for. He has a fair bit of light armor. This is probably the guy we managed to get with the Spire upgrade. Yes, this is Ravos. We can get camping supplies from him. So... what if we hire Kendrick? The next time you travel to the mysterious device. So if we go down, and then back up... this new person should also be here. Yes, there. Kendrick. A burly smith draws his arm across his brow and nods to you. Kendrick, smelter. Not quite a master, but, you know, getting there. Never worked this high up before. He shrugs. First time for everything. Let's put you to work making me some weapons, shall we? I am working, Fatebinder. Always working. Come check back later. You have something for me ready? So even though I have him, he won't sell me anything. Unfortunate. Regularly produces weapons. I guess I'll have to check up on them regularly. We also have Corpse Eye and Lone Fang. I guess I can check with Corpse Eye. One more I want to hire as another merchant. The others I don't care as much about. And back up to the top one more time. Yeah, we've spent some coin, what of it? Let's see... ah, up here. Huh, I never investigated that. This fire pit burns with embers that give off an ethereal glow. Looking into the flame, you can see glimpses of distorted faces. Interesting. Okay, Corpse Eye. Well, if it ain't the big bad boss, come to take a look at my wares. Handpicked from the finest of battlefield corpses, I can assure you. The Scarlet Chorus member's milky dead eyes roll in their sockets as he bows deeply, mocking you. What'll it be, boss? Corpse Eye. Not really a name you come across every day. Unusual? Yeah. His eyes, cloudy and scarred, bob unfocused in their sockets, and he grins at you, revealing several cracked and missing teeth. Fitting? You tell me. You can't shake the eerie sense that despite appearances, Corpse Eye is in fact able to see. After all, didn't you recently witness him fighting on the battlefield? Regardless, he doesn't seem to find his condition at all distressing. How'd you end up in the Scarlet Chorus? How there's anyone if not through piss-poor luck. Know what happens when the chorus comes a-calling at your door and you don't open it? Worse than this, he warns, waving 2 fingers over his eyes. But I figure I've made my way at things. Working for a fate binder now. What finer honor could there be, right? He laughs, chokes, and hawks a glob of spit at your feet. What do you think about the voices of Narat? If I were a betting man, which I am now thanks to the chorus, I'd put my rings on Narat. And any churl with 2 wits about them would do the same. The Scarlet Chorus member shrugs. I don't fear many things no more, but he's sure one. Why do you fear him? He's got a real means of making his problems go away, big or small. You don't want to be one of those problems, boss. I'd like to talk. Sure, boss. You talk, I'll pretend to listen. I prefer one-sided conversations with figures of authority. Makes it real easy for me. Remain silent. Yeah, you got a real talker on our hands, have we? No matter. I'm real good at filling silences. Corpse Eye hums to himself, off-key, one filmy eye drifting to the side as he bobs his head to the tune. Let's see what's in stock. Okay, so he's got various Scarlet Fury things. Scarlet Fury armor, weapons, exquisite gear. Ooh, he has some good gear. Twisted Iron Sword would be nice. Really? A scythe is one-handed. Interesting. That's some interesting stuff here. Including some actual heavy armor. But damn, it's expensive and would cost almost all my rings. It's nice to have them. We're not gonna spend any money. So I don't think there's really anything else to do here. I don't want any of the other things, and I don't think if we use this anything will happen. It doesn't respond to your touch. Alright, in that case, let's make our way to Iron Hearth. And we're here. It's interesting. Oof. This is quite a design of the place. Graven Ash is over there. Akalos. It is our responsibility to deserve the honor of Kairos' peace. Hit him with your left! Knock him out! Couple people here. Interesting. The disfavored soldier chuckles with disdain at the Scarlet Chorus fighter. Consider it. Not for a second. We pick our soldiers from elite northern families. We don't recruit from flies buzzing over a mass grave. Are the disfavored so narrow-minded? My gang's strength delivered us across half a dozen battles with a line of fallen enemies in our wake. Not many conscripts can say the same. The question is not a matter of your skill, but of your breeding, your training, your pedigree. Noticing you, the Iron Guard salutes. Hail, Graven Ash! Faintbinder, if I may take a moment of your time. What do you need? This person comes representing a Scarlet Chorus gang. What did you call yourselves again? The Grinning Bleeders. We have a long and storied reputation in the Scarlet Chorus ranks. Killers of the highest order, my gang. He puffs up his chest with pride. Before I was a boss here, I ran with the Broken Shits, the Salty Nightmares, and Trap Gang. Everyone made a name for themselves during the war. You made up at least 2 of those gangs and don't even bother denying it. Just be careful what names you toss around when there's a former boss standing within earshot, you little pissant. One of his eyebrows snaps up at attention. Verse! So kind of you to chime in with your corrections. In any case, he's asking to join the Disfavored, which is out of the question. I've explained the numerous reasons why we can't allow it, but the wretch won't listen. Is that accurate? It is. We're not looking for special treatment, just a new beginning. Seeing as we're healthy, fit, and combat ready, the Ironclads should have no reason to refuse us. especially since they're low on numbers. That may be true, but it's no excuse to pollute our respectable ranks with your company. We're more than capable. Put any weapon in our hands or send us on any suicide mission. It'll be mercy compared to what we faced under the voices of Narat. That much is true, at least. There's something to be said for a general who isn't going to gut you in your sleep because it suits his flair for the artistic. Those are the first words I've heard you speak about General Ash. Perhaps you're coming around. Then you can count on them being the last, you overfull midden pile. If we joined up, the Disfavored wouldn't have to compromise their staunch northern morals. We would take the bloody work off their hands. Do you want me to decide the matter? You must know Kyrus's laws back to front, and I trust you know our traditions as well. If it peels this lamprey off my backside, I'll allow it. Speaking for my gang, we'll accept your judgment. We're eager to crack some tearsmen's skulls with Kyrus's army again, no matter what color they wear. Let me take your testimony first. Of course, I have nothing to hide. Why can't the recruits join the Disfavored? Most of us would rather swallow our tongues than take orders from some rigid officer who talked his way into leadership, but to each their own. Where do I start? Not only does Graven Ash handpick his Disfavored from the decorated northern stock, he takes a personal interest in our training and education. We are his sons and daughters. To accept anything less in our ranks would hold the very process in contempt. The only capacity they would serve would be manual labor, hauling wagons or digging latrines, but that's the work of slaves and not what they've come requesting. Why this interest in the Disfavored? Better training, better quarters, iron weapons. The Disfavored have everything we wanted out of joining the military. We want to serve Kairos to the best of our abilities. Is that asking too much? Old Ironclad here seems to think so. Their respect for command leaves something to be desired. Why did you leave the Scarlet Chorus? Our old gang fell at the last battle of Endrian's Well. We saw how the Disfavored operated, and realized there was a chance for a better life. A longer one, too. Desertion happens every day in the Scarlet Chorus. I can tell you that we won't be missed. He says that like he's boasting. Only the shitheel recruits who never make a name for themselves are overlooked at muster. I'm ready to make my ruling. Good. Whatever's fair, we're prepared to stand by it. I'm not going to say execution is the only recourse. No longer in the military is an option. And consigning you to hard labor, pretty sure that won't be too pleasing for anyone. And yet that seems the appropriate response here. I consign you to hard labor, hauling wagons and digging latrines. But that's a waste of our talent. We can shed so much blood for the Disfavored. I agree. It's a waste, but these fools should have known better than to turn coat. It always bites you in the ass eventually. Horde maggot! You occupy space and eat our food. Don't presume to complain about your treatment. Fatebinder, I thank you. We can all learn from your practical, calculating approach. Yeah, it seemed a fitting thing to do.
Curious.
Let's see, bronze throwing dagger, that's basically trash. The stall contains spoils acquired on the battlefield, all neatly labored and organized. And we have Aoja's Calling. Sigil of Life and Regenerating. Ooh, that's actually a good thing for you to have, I think. Instead of this one. Instead of this, same damage, but it gives Sigil of Life and Regenerating, which I think would be good to have. Yeah, you are that type of mage. Hard labor it is, then. Believe it or not, I think it can be worse. Alright, some things I don't think we need. Greetings, Fatebinder. Akalos, 32nd Legion. The soldier salutes. Glad to see Tunon's agent grace Iron Hearth. Ash's troop has no lack of order, but a servant of the court is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant pinned down, I'm afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I can spare a moment for conversation. You need something from me? Tell me about the Scarlet Chorus lieutenant. Seems our troops have this little maggot of a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant cornered over at Cato Village. From what I'm hearing, it's the same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. If I wasn't already handling something for Ash, I'd go and skin the filth myself. You being here simplifies matters. Make sure this lieutenant doesn't leave the village with his life. I'll handle it. Good of you to pitch in. No one will mourn the loss of one more chorus rat. He marks the location on your map. I have questions before I go. No problem. What do you need? Naturally, you have my undivided attention. Where were you during the conquest? You could say I've seen the tiers from top to bottom. I dug latrines at our encampment at the Gates of Judgment. Then my promotion sent me to Lethian's Crossing, gone into a few rows of the Bronze Brotherhood. Not a pretty sight. Then I had a brief deployment in Apex, but the fighting was winding down around when I arrived. After that I did a tour of Stalwart, but got transferred out before the edict tore everything apart. Tell me about your home in the north. I hail from Balmywell, a small hamlet far west of Kairos' capital. It's nothing glorious, but I can trace 6 generations back there, so it's home. I hope to return there someday with a heap of tales, rings, and renown. Once Graven Ash gave me his favor and recruited me to join the army, my family went from respectable farmers to elite folk. Better regarded or respected than damn near anyone. They must be doing well for themselves. How did you join the Disfavored? Ahead of the conquest, Graven Ash sent recruiters to all the outlying towns looking for worthy talent. The village held a tourney and melee to demonstrate our local muscle. Nothing fancy, mind you. It was mostly fighting on hay bales with wooden spears. I had the distinction of toppling even the biggest contender. A familiar tale, and one after my own heart. Beric nods with respect. It's a good thing I succeeded. I'm more useful to Kairos on the field of battle than a field of wheat. Okay, so we'll be going to handle that, I suppose.
Ah, got it.
Elixir of Resolve, Bronze Ingot, and Hide. Oh, we can rest here if we desire. There's a couple people here in the northwest, which I suppose you can go speak to.
Interesting.
Okay, a few more things. Osmi and Zephylos. The production of new potions isn't keeping up with demand. Many of these bottles remain empty. And Vendrian Guard Bronze Dagger. Good to see you, Fatebinder. I hope you're representing the Disfavored while out on your adventures. Indeed. I think we have a little more time to speak with these two. Osmia. You must be the Fatebinder of Tunon. The Disfavored Ironwalker bows. Welcome to Iron Hearth. I'm sure that Graven Ash appreciates any help you can offer. Circumstances have a way of coming together so that the Disfavored are always stretched thinner than we would like. What can I do for you? Why are the Disfavored so overworked? She rubs her palms together and frowns. We're trying to shoulder the brunt of this civil war without the strength of numbers. The Scarlet Chorus can throw 1,000 disposable bodies at an issue without a second thought, but we're forced to be a little more discriminating. We might be trained to deal with the stress of combat and all-night drills, but we're fatigued even by the high standard we set for ourselves. She studies you in a cautious manner. Not that I need to burden an agent of the court with my misgivings. Once the war is over and the tiers are properly subdued, my hope is that Kairos dispatches some relief troops to support the occupation. We all deserve a season of rest. The court is always receptive to the needs of soldiers. Your point is noted. That's very generous of you to say, Fatebinder. I'm grateful to know that someone is listening. A nervous smile brightens her expression. Where were you during the conquest? After the Edict of Storms hit, I spent some time among the ruins of Stalwart, digging out survivors from the Legion. Afraid I didn't find much. She glances up at Beric. You must have moved on by then, or else we would have assembled a team to excavate you. My prison moved with me. There was no reason to tarry. He bows his head respectfully. I still think about the brothers and sisters we left behind. Sometimes I can imagine that I hear their voices carry on the wind. I'll be on my way. And what about this one, Zephylos? Even though you're not fully-fledged Disfavored recruit, I've been authorized to grant you purchasing rights from our store. Within certain limits, of course. Would you like to see what we have to offer? What limits are those? It's nothing personal, I assure you. Graven Ash wants us to control our supplies without restricting access to his army supporters like yourself. The finest arms and freshest provisions are reserved for the soldiers under his direct command. I'm sure you understand, the Archon takes our protection very seriously. Understood. Let's see what you can offer me. Some good weapons. Disfavored Iron Sword? That would be nice. Blinding Oath. Thrown weapon. Don't care for that. Stone Shield, Tower Shield. We already have one. Iron Guard Armor. That would actually be very nice. Less crush protection, but slash armor, pierce armor, shock and frost armor, corrode armor, less fire armor, less recovery, but overall, that is very good. The Oathbound is light, Earthshaker is light. Sigil of Stone might be interesting to have, but what I really want is that Iron Guard armor. We'll have to try for that sometime later. For now, we can move on. I think this episode will go a little longer, because I don't know how long the discussion will go with Graven Ash, so I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll go speak with Graven Ash and see what we have to learn. Oh, we're in the Edict of Storms. It's still going on. Less range damage and less accuracy. Interesting. Interesting. The winds of Kyrus' edict fill the air with thick clouds of rust from the decaying weapons and armor that litter the ground. No natural wind, it hampers your every movement. Noted. Well, next episode we'll speak with Graven Ash and see what he has to say. Till then, I am Chester44. That is Jason Pendragon, Barrack, Lantry, and Verse. This has been a Let's Play of Tyranny, and I shall see you all next time.